We call the Board of Mayor and Aldermen for Tuesday, February 25th to order. First item on the agenda is the prayer. We're going to have a little prayer by Pastor David, not Pastor Mark, and Mr. Johnson from Ground of Truth. And if you would please stand for the prayer and remain standing able for the pledge of allegiance.
Well, I'm the one who used to whip Mark Johnson, though I never had to very much. He was a good boy. I don't have a written out prayer. All I know to do is just pray. Whatever it is, be from my heart. Be sincere. Almighty God of heaven, we honor you tonight, and we thank you. We have many blessings to count, and we have a wonderful town to live in. We have leaders with integrity. We depend on them to take care of us. We acknowledge our need of you tonight. For whatever business may transpire, we ask for wisdom and understanding. Like King Solomon of old, who asked for wisdom and understanding to lead the people of Israel. Give us the wisdom and understanding that we need. Bless all who are here in this room tonight. And I pray that we might all meet in heaven someday. In Jesus' name, amen.
Before I lead us in prayer, I just want to say, Pastor Johnson, thank you for Fountain of Truth. This ain't your first time down here. We want to just thank you for your service to the Bartlett community. We appreciate you, and we mean that from the heart, just like you pray from the heart. So please join me in the prayer. Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
While he's getting in place, I'll read the future meetings. Design Review Commission, February 27th at 6:30 p.m. Family Assistant Commission, March 3rd at 6 p.m. Beer Board, March 4th at 6 p.m. Bartlett Station Commission, March 5th at 7:30 a.m. City Beautiful Commission, March 6th at 6:30 p.m. Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, March 6th at 6 p.m.
Well, we've got a room full of guests tonight. And as usual, we'll start out inviting any of our scouts that we have to please come down, come up to this microphone, tell us your name, troop number you're with, and the badge you're working on.
My name is Whitson. I'm Pack 457. I'm a Weeblo, and I'm working on my community badge.
Good job.
My name is Patrick. I'm a Weeblo in Pack 457, and I'm working on my community achievement badge.
My name is Evan. I am a Weeblo of Pack 457, and I am working on my community badge.
Good job.
I should tilt that up.
I'm Sebastian. I am with Troop 457 and I am working on my communications merit badge.
Hello, I am Simon. I am Troop 457 and I'm working on my communications merit badge.
Hello, I'm Dalton. I'm in Troop 457 and I am also working on my communications merit badge.
My name is Gabriel Henthorn. I'm from Troop 457 and I'm working on my communication merit badge.
My name is Ethan Prince. I'm with Troop 457 and I'm working on my communications merit badge.
Thank you. The Scoutmasters, who else? Come on up here and get in the front. I was told y'all wanted a picture. Spread some over here if you would. Anybody else in these groups? Come on, son. Come over here. There you go. There we go. There we go. Come on, son. You on in. There you go. Thank y'all. We have a lot of young folks from the high school in the room tonight. So I'm going to ask the coach to come down, and we're going to recognize our bowling team. So if the girls will make their way forward, stand on this side, the guys be on this side over here. Coach, you want to say something let the audience know what these young men and women represent?
These are some of the most talented athletes I've had the pleasure of working with in my 13-year career. They are extremely dedicated to their craft, loyal to each other, and inspire me regularly. It's been nothing but a pleasure for the last 6 seasons, and I'm looking forward to future ones.
Good. So the first individual I want to recognize is Elijah. Come up here, Elijah. Let me tell you about Elijah here. His picture was in the paper along with everybody else, I think. But he's obviously he's on the varsity bowling team, and they just had a big tournament, state tournament. And for his hard work and perseverance enabling him to participate, he is the first place winner of the TSSAA Division I State Individuals. So give him a round. To Elijah. And we're going to start next with the girls. And we got a certificate here for y'all. So, Madam Clerk.
Anna Horner. Holly Guzman. Lexi Adams. Addison Brown. Kara Bond. Kinsey Bond. Lacey Spite. Isabella Castleberry. Sadie List. Dawson Clark, Logan Washburn, Jackson Hicks, Preston Westside, Jamison Gillian, Aiden Smith, Nick Clutch, Sullivan Tatum, Carson Grant.
Let's get a picture. If you open up your folder and show them your certificate. And Coach, you want to get over here? We're going to do the boys and the girls and the boys and do one group. You come over and get in this picture on the other end. There you go. Coach, it's going to work out tonight. There we go. Here we go. Everybody scoot up together. I get a line on this. Thank y'all. Give another round of applause. Congratulations. Thank y'all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations. All of y'all. We're going to win it again, right? Yep. All right. Congratulations. 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 Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Coach? Eat them out. It's exciting to have such a great, it's bowling team. We're in the middle of basketball. We're in regional or district. We're in regional. We got a lot of athletes at Bartlett High School. Good things are happening there. And with great pleasure, it gives me great pleasure to introduce this next family. It's the Smith family, so I'd ask them to come up. Many of you recognize this young lady. She has been all over Bartlett, served on every board and commission possible, primarily on BPAC, still on BPAC. And her husband, many of you know him, is Mr. Chief Paul, who is our fire chief. And they were just so active in this community. In everything they did, they gave their heart. And that heart they have for their community didn't stop with them. It went down to their kids. And at this time, their son Paul, I'm going to give him the microphone to tell you what has been on his heart for some time now.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Aldermen. I'm Brian Smith. I've never had the joy of living in Bartlett. My parents moved here 33 years ago after I was already gone to grad school and a career. But in those 33 years, my dad led the Bartlett Fire Department for 13 years. I see a lot of the firemen back there. Beyond being a grandfather, his number one pride was being able to take the Bartlett Fire Department from a largely volunteer place back then to the number one ranked fire department in the state of Tennessee at the time, by the time he retired. And up until his death, he was still very proud of everything the Bartlett Fire Department did. My mom has served almost 2 decades now on the board of BPAC as a volunteer. And for 50 years, they have been supporters of the University of Memphis. And that's where all of this ties together. My wife and I were looking for an opportunity to honor my parents and their legacy and tie it to the city of Bartlett. So we're proud to announce the Paul and Shirley Smith Scholarship at the University of Memphis that will start this fall. It will go to one employee's child every year. So it could be 4 years in a row for the same, it could be the same, but it's a scholarship to the University of Memphis to help out employee children of the city of Bartlett. It'll start as a partial scholarship and will build over time to a full scholarship. But it's our way of giving back to this community that has given so much to our family. And as someone who grew up a child of a city employee that happened to get a scholarship to the University of Memphis to help me get through, it's our way of paying it forward. So we thank all of you that are employees and citizens for continuing to make Bartlett a wonderful place. And we hope this scholarship goes for the next 50 years to this generation and the next generation, supporting a city employee's child every year. So.
Thank you, Paul. Our fire chief, Tommy Gately, would like to say a word. Chief.
Thank you, Mayor. Chief Smith, back in 2000, hired me, so I'm a little biased to his hiring practices. But with all that being said, Chief Smith came during what I understood to be a very challenging time. It was a few years before I got there. And he brought structure and professionalism to the Bartlett Fire Department. It was a transitional time. As you mentioned, from being a predominantly volunteer during the 80s and 90s, and then to bring his experience that he had at Memphis was foundational for us to bring many of those practices from a full-time department over. So some of the things we still do today were implemented by Chief Smith, and we're definitely grateful for the leadership that he's had on our department. So thank you for not only what he's done, but I know that you've done a lot for the city. I still remember the Christmas parties and all the endless efforts and gifts and time that you put into it. And so just thank you for your family and their commitment to our community.
I won't read the whole proclamation. We'll be out about 10 if I did. But I'll just get to now, therefore, I, as the mayor of the city of Bartlett, do hereby proclaim that Tuesday, February the 25th, 2025, as Paul and Shirley Smith Scholarship Day in Bartlett. And I, along with the Smith family, hope that the Paul and Shirley Smith Scholarship will provide educational opportunities for children of Bartlett employees for decades to come, as you said, fostering a legacy of learning and community service. We're grateful for y'all's generosity and your dedication to the city of Bartlett. I present you this proclamation. And someone that has a heart like that, he needs a key to the city.
Thank you so much.
It don't work on nothing, but it looks good. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Good people doing great things. So, first item on the move to the official business of the day. First item is approval of the minutes. Madam Clerk, read item number 1 there for me, please.
Minutes of the February 11th, 2025 Board of Mayor and Aldermen regular meeting.
Move we approve.
Be properly motioned and second. Madam Clerk, will you please place the roll? They almost had me crying. I'm sorry, my nose is running. Minutes are approved. Now we move to the consent agenda. We have 2 items. Any member of the board may remove any item for separate discussion. Does any board member wish to remove item 1 or 2 for separate discussion? Hearing not, Madam Clerk, will you read the 2 items into the record?
Item 1, special event permit for Bartlett Police Charitable 5K and Obstacle Course. Item 2, contract for bid phase services and CEI for Fletcher Creek Greenway Phase 3.
Properly motioned and second. There is no discussion on the consent agenda. Madam Clerk. Consent agenda is approved. We now move to new business. Madam Clerk, read item number 1 under new business.
Resolution 04-25, a resolution to delete uncollectible accounts from utility customers' accounts receivable.
At this time, we ask Mr. Dick Phoebus, our Finance Director, to come forward.
We come to you every year about this time to write off water bills that have not been paid and are uncollectible. This year, the total amount is $56,963 and 63 cents. We ask that you these bills will remain in our records, and if someone comes back to try to set up service after they've been written off, they'll have to pay the bill before we start service again.
Been properly motioned. Discussion. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, Madam Clerk. Motion carries. Madam Clerk, item number 2.
Resolution 07-25, a resolution to delete uncollectible property taxes, interest, penalties, and associated costs from the City of Bartlett tax rolls.
Director of Finance, Mr. Dick Phoebus, you're recognized.
This is another resolution we bring forward to you at least once a year, sometimes twice. These property taxes have been declared by the Shelby County Trustee's Office as uncollectible, and asking them to be written off of our tax records. Total of $17,173.93 this year.
Thank you, Mr. Phoebus.
Move we approve.
Been properly motioned
I'll second it, but I have a question also.
We go to discussion. It's been second. Moving to discussion. Alderman Quinn, you're recognized.
Mr. Phoebus, I have a question just out of curiosity. So a couple of these properties, the same people still own them, and there's a statute of limitations that passed on some of the property taxes. How do we handle that if somebody's current on their taxes, but yet part of it has fallen out of the statute of limitations? I mean, can it be applied to the
remain uncollectible at that point? I think it's 10 years, and when they become uncollectible, they haven't paid.
So even if they're current, this is just gone because the statute of limitations ran out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if they owe current property taxes, they would have to pay those.
Okay, and that's just the county just didn't collect them. They just let it keep going until it fell out of the statute. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Madam Clerk? Resolution 0725 passes. And now, Madam Clerk, read item number 3 into the record.
Resolution 08-25, a resolution of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of the City of Bartlett requesting the Tennessee General Assembly to enact an amendment to the city charter.
Mr. Ed McKinney, our City Attorney, to be recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The charter is the equivalent of the Constitution for the City of Bartlett. It's the general law. There's a process for amending a charter. It's not done very often. The last time it was done at Bartlett was 2007. But there are some suggested changes that we've come forward with, and they've been presented today to the city in the form of a resolution. The charter change process is like this. A city that wishes to change a private charter city, which Bartlett is, submits a resolution to the General Assembly, and we do that through our elected officials, Senator Paul Rose and Representative Tom Leatherwood. We have tonight a proposed resolution that the board would need to adopt by a 2/3 majority of this board. So 5 members of this board would need to vote to approve this tonight. If that is done, then we will give this to Senator Rose and Representative Leatherwood. They'll present this to the General Assembly, and hopefully the General Assembly will pass that. When they do, it'll be signed by the governor, and it will be sent back to Bartlett. It then has to be approved again by 2/3 of the members of this board, 5 persons. Once that's done, and that needs to be done within 120 days of submittal, then it becomes the law. So that's the process. The things that are being suggested for change, the animal control provisions, I don't know how they got in the charter to begin with. I think that may have been a mistake made in 2007 because you can't change the charter very easily. Animal control provisions should be in an ordinance, and that's what we're suggesting tonight, that we remove these provisions from the charter and we put them back where they're supposed to be in an ordinance. Once that's done, it will be approved by the legislature. Then it'll simply be an ordinance. And if we need to change things, it's much easier to do that by amending an ordinance than trying to change your charter. All right, the next item is term limits, and that deals with the term limits for everybody here, from the office of mayor to the office of alderman. We're not changing the 4-year term. It would still be a 4-year term, but the proposal is for there to be 3 4-year terms, and that would be all. You can serve as mayor for 12 years. You can serve as alderman for 12 years. Now there's no limit. I mean, you could be elected, 5, 6, 7 times if you got necessary votes. So we're suggesting term limits, which would be similar to what we've got in Memphis and Shelby County and in the federal government. But it's the first time we would have that in Bartlett. So the proposal is 3 4-year terms, and it would apply someone who's in their first term now. Once they finish the first term, they would have 3 more terms. Okay, but it's. I'm sorry, 2 more terms. 3 4-year terms. But that's the proposal before you tonight. The next item is resign to run, and this is based upon the town of Collierville's ordinance that they've got, or charter rather, they've got. there's an inequity as it exists right now. For members of the public, these 3 aldermen, 1, 2, and 3, and the mayor run at the same election. They all run for different positions, but for 4 years at the same time. 4, 5, and 6 run at a different time. If Mr. King or Mr. Griffin or Mr. Reeves wanted to run against the mayor, they would have to resign their position to do so. Alderman Quinn, Alderman Young, and Alderman Williams would not have to do that. So we're trying to change an inequity in the system and to make it fair for all the members of the board. You've got the right to run, but you can't hold 2 positions at the same time. And so this is making people think, do I really want to do this or not? But it's making it fair to all, so all the members have the same rights. None of them have penalties imposed upon them that aren't imposed upon the other 5 members of the board. The last item is disciplinary rules. Bartlett is what's called an at-will city, as are Tennessee's an at-will state, which means employment can be, an employee can leave whenever he or she wishes to. Employee could also be released from employment whenever the city decides that needs to be done. And the purpose of this is to make sure that it's clear that the mayor has the authority to appoint, to hire, to promote, to suspend, to demote, and terminate. He would also have the ability to designate that to an individual. And the person we're proposing for that would be Mr. Sones, the CAO. This makes it cleaner. There's no possible arguments that Bartlett is anything other than what it's always been, an at-will city. Any questions?
Move we approve. Second.
Been properly motion, discussion. Second, any discussion? Alderman Quinn.
Yes, I would like to amend this so that term limits can be applied retrospectively.
Is there a second? Motion fails for a lack of a second. Chair would entertain another motion. Huh? Okay, I'm sorry. So we've been properly motioned and there's no second. So the resolution is back on the floor.
There was a second.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry. Who made the second?
The main is motioning second. Alderman Reeves and Alderman Griffin. The main is
okay. Then. It's just on the floor for discussion. I apologize, I didn't hear y'all.
It's okay. Are you up first? Okay, perfect. We had a working session before this, which was noticed to the public, and we had a lot of conversation about this. Term limits is something that when I ran, and I think we've heard from Robert, we heard from Brad, this last election, the number one thing people wanted us to do was create some type of term limits for city government. So that's what we're doing. We're making good on kind of what we heard during the campaign. I'm very much in favor of it. Coming from the county commission, which was a totally dysfunctional body that has term limits, you have to have term limits. Because what we found within that government is when you have the wrong type of person who gets in a particular position, it can ruin a county or county function, right? So I think term limits matter. I think our people want them. That's why I'm very supportive of them. Resign to run, I wasn't really that fond of, just to be honest with you, and we had the original conversation. But when you think about 1, 2, and 3, and this is not even really about me or any of these guys, and 4, 5, and 6, we have to resign if we run for mayor. We have no choice in the matter. We can't run for 2 positions. 4, 5, and 6, they could run for alderman, 2 years later for mayor, they keep their alderman seat, and it's just a constant cycle, right? So it is unfair. So I will be supportive of it because of that. Like I said, I didn't really love it at the very beginning when I first saw it, but I think at the end of the day, the argument really about it being unfair that all 6 seats are not treated the same way kind of carried the day for me, so I'll be supportive of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman King, or was Alderman Griffin? Alderman Griffin then. Oh, you wouldn't? Okay, Alderman King, did you want to be recognized? Okay, I'm sorry. All right, is there any more discussion?
Oh, Mr. Mayor, there were 2 typos in the resolution. It said public act as opposed to private act. We made a modification to that. I just wanted that to be on the record.
Okay. So the motion on the floor is to accept the resolution as submitted. And seeing no more discussion, Madam Clerk, please call the roll. Resolution 08-25 passes 6 to 1. So now that concludes the regular business of the day. We move to open discussion. Is any the board? We open the floor up to any member of the board first. Does any board member wish to be recognized? Alderman Quinn.
Yes, I just want to thank Penny for her excellent dictation and the minutes from the meeting 2 weeks ago. There was a lot of dialogue back and forth, and I just really appreciate those really detailed minutes. I mean, there's no doubt on what happened. Thank you.
They're almost the size of the phone book.
No doubt we have a good clerk. Is anybody else? Is any director wish to come forward? Anything to announce? Seeing no directors coming forward. If a citizen has filled out an open discussion citizenship form, please come to the podium now at this time. State your name and address for the record.
Brooklyn Bird.
Hey everyone, how are you? Thanks so much to the mayor, aldermen.
Yes, ma'am.
Hope y'all are doing well with this nice weather we're having. Loving that. Well, I'm Dr. Brooklyn Bird. I'm a dentist. My office is literally just across the street from here, so didn't have a long commute today. But I just wanted to come talk. There's been a lot of talk in my office locally about fluoride in the water. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to come talk to you guys about it, kind of give you my view on it. And I do want to say that I am pro-fluoride. So first thing, I am joined by Ms. Tina Boehm, who's the County Director of the Health Department of Fayette and Tipton County, who is a Bartlett resident. We appreciate her being here. Dr. West is the Regional Dental Director of West Tennessee. Appreciate her being here. And then Dr. Harris is the Dental Director for the Shelby County Health Department. And we're all here just to show our heart for Shelby County, especially Bartlett, and Tennesseans just in general. We really care about this resolution, this issue. There's not any formal resolution right now on this, but if it were to come forward, I just want you guys to have kind of a basis of where the health department stands, where dentists stand, where the American Dental Association stands, and so appreciate you guys kind of listening. Just to give you basically the high points here. It's a safe, effective, cost-saving, and socially equitable way to prevent tooth decay. Fluoride actually occurs naturally in water sources, so it's just in there anyway. At optimal levels, it is the most effective way to prevent tooth decay. And I don't know if anyone knows, but the most common childhood disease is actually tooth decay. So it's really serious. I think everyone knows the implications of a toothache in terms of disrupting your life, in terms of disrupting your job, your family. Everything kind of, can go downhill after that. So it's very cost effective. It's less than 50 cents a year per person for fluoridation, and it's way less than the cost of a filling. I can attest to that too. So it's basically, again, a very equitable way to do it. It affects people who drink water. I mean, everyone kind of does that, hopefully. And if you don't, maybe look at that as well. But it's a really, really good way to, again, just protect our community, and it's a positive thing. So if you guys have any questions, like I said, we're all available. There's all resources. And there's even been some discussion, like on the national level lately. A lot of the studies that are being cited, I've looked into those as well, and it's coming out of other countries that have fluoride levels that are higher than we've ever recommended. So they're saying, there might be, some certain side effects, but at the level we recommend, that's never been scientifically proven. And some of these studies are just misleading. And we want to know, we want you guys to know that the levels that we recommend are safe, effective, and I very strongly believe in that. So that way, we can prevent the most common childhood disease. So I appreciate you guys listening. And if you guys have any questions, please let me know. My office is just across the street. So thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Bartlett is below those safe levels.
Sorry?
Bartlett is below those safe levels.
Okay, perfect.
Anybody else? Seeing no one else wishing to be recognized, we'd entertain a motion to adjourn. Meeting adjourned.